if you don't know where you want to go, any road is fine. Now that saying represents many salespeople in Japan. They're in sales, but have no direction in mind on how the sales call should run. There is a process to sales, a simple process, but what a difference it makes. Find out how in today's episode. Welcome back to year 4 of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which we release every Monday. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coach and training guy, president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. Now, we are bringing the show to you from our studio in our High Performance Center headquarters in Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? We are looking at giving you a big edge in business in Japan. Let's all be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. This is episode number 173, the easy way of selling. So let's get going. The object of sale is the exchange of a good or a service for money. The degree to which that money can exceed the variable and fixed costs associated with delivering it determines the success and longevity of the company. We all know that. Nothing happens in business without a sale. If that is the case, then salespeople have a critical role to produce as much revenue as possible for the firm. There are prices set for goods and services. Goods are tangible items, and plotting the costs and the margin of profit are relatively straightforward. Buy low, sell high is the old business maxim. Services are more difficult to price because they are intangibles. In both cases, the value proposition of the price against what is being delivered is the communication piece that salespeople have to master in order to be successful. Imagine my surprise as an expert in sales training when I meet salespeople who have not spent even 1 second trying to master the bridging of the gap between value and cost. Sitting in the audience at a speaker event next to a 30-ish Japanese sales guy, I was astounded by a few things he said as we discussed selling over the lunch. I was interested in hearing what his sales process was like. He didn't really understand my question because he had no defined sales process. He'd been selling for his firm for about 7 years, so he was an experienced salesperson. He contacts a lead, gets an appointment, shows up, explains the service, and submits a quote. He said, "Really, on the blank side of a meal menu, I mapped out the elements of the sales process for him. Prepare for the meeting and focus your intention on one thing, getting the reorder, not just the solitary sale. Build trust through establishing rapport. Create interest by asking extremely well-designed questions to understand the client's needs. Now, tell the client whether we can help them or not, and if we can, explain the how of our solution. There may be points of insufficient clarity, concerns, hesitations, or downright objections to what we are proposing. We need to deal with those before we proceed to ask for the order, and then we do the follow-up to deliver the service or good." He was impressed by this structural approach to the sales call, as he should have been, because he was certainly doing it the hard way. Having a roadmap makes the whole process much easier for both buyer and seller. I then asked him, what does he do when the buyer says, too expensive? His answer had me reeling. With a cherubic mien, he told me he offered to drop the price. Incredulous, I asked, well, how much do you usually drop it? He quoted 20% as a number. There were 4 other salespeople in his team, and if that is how they roll over there, then that is an expensive first response to client pushback on pricing. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to sell more and do it more easily, do the Winning with Relationships selling course. If you can't build trust, no sale. Can't design excellent questions to understand the client's needs, no sale. Can't present the solution convincingly, no sale. Can't handle objections properly, no sale. Can't close, no sale. Master the sales process by doing the Winning with Relationships selling course now in either Japanese or English. The bestseller, Japan Sales Mastery, is the new Bible of selling in Japan. To sell to Japanese buyers, you need to create long-term partner-level trust, fully understand Japanese buyers' real needs, convince buyers with your solutions, overcome their hesitation, fear, and doubt, know how to ask for the order, ensure repeat orders. This book is the product of 30 plus years in the trenches selling in Japan. Order Japan Sales Mastery now. Welcome back. Here is a snapper. Do you know what is happening inside your team? Are they also dropping the price immediately as their first counter to an objection or the money question? If they are, then there is a huge amount of firm success and longevity being strewn on the ground here. What a waste. He was an experienced guy, but that was the best he could come up with. Why would that be? He didn't have any other knowledge about how to deal with that type of situation. Do you think price comes up fairly regularly in sales conversations with buyers? Of course it does. So how could this continue like this as if it were acceptable? That is the point. In Japan, these types of low levels of sales professionalism are the norm and not the exception. It is tolerated because everyone is the same, equally sad and hopeless. He should have said, "Why do you say that?" when told it was too expensive. Was the price objection genuine or a ruse, sport negotiation, time-bound or irrelevant because they haven't seen enough value yet to understand the price point? There'll be one highest priority element in the too expensive objection. It might be the actual volume of cash involved, budget allocation, timings, internal competing project competition, concerns, etc. Which one is it? We need to know. I have been told too expensive, which I recognize is a short form summary of a host of reasons for not proceeding. When I questioned the why, it was a budget issue. Now, as sales professionals, we have to dig deeper. Why is it a budget issue? Because that number will exceed our budget allocation for that quarter. That means it is not too expensive after all. It is just too expensive if paid in one quarter, but fully capable of purchase if the payments are split across quarters. Except you would never know that if the response was to drop your price by 20%. Would you be willing to help the client out and split the payments across quarters? I would guess you would prefer that to having to drop your price. The moral of this story is to take a very detailed look at what your salespeople are doing. Don't confuse 7 years of sales experience with 1 year of experience 7 times. Also, don't imagine they have a process that they know how to explain the value or deal with objections. Based on what we see in our sales training classes and talking with clients in Japan, the chances of that being the case are very, very low. Please subscribe to the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Our website details are on screen now. enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It's awesome value, so check it out. You might also enjoy our other shows for podcasts. Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesday for the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday for the Business Touches in Oshie Show. Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series. Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series. Every second Thursday for the Business Pro Podcaster Show. And Fridays we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, you get these wherever you get your podcasts. Also, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Every Friday, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And every Saturday, Japan's top business interviews. These are all released on our YouTube channel. In episode number 174, we are talking about you can't do it all by yourself. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. We've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.